Sailor Moon, and I'm Sailor Earth. And today we're going to talk about, our film getting stuck in filleted or filleting, or if that isn't a word. I know filleted's a word, but I don't know what the deed or doing of that would be. Filleted or filleting. So we made this film yesterday, and we already talked about it. So now we're going to go to the right film. Here's the film that we did yesterday, a new take on it. So the film we wanted to do yesterday, so we're going to do it now. Alright, so everyone will think, everyone knows that depending on what your reckoner is or what your web shooter is, you'll have film shifting tools. Well, for us, that would be the Microsoft Windows film shifting tool, and also the YouTube film shifter, which at the end of the day don't really work that well. They're too hard to work. There is no book that comes with it to tell you how any of it works. You just put a film in and hope for the great, which is dumb, but if that's the way all these film shifting tools work, then fuck them. So every Windows, from the first Windows up to 10, has had Microsoft Filmmaker and Microsoft Windows Filmmaker, and at the end of the day, it is too hard to work. The only things we ever got the Microsoft Filmmaker to ever do, the Microsoft Windows Filmmaker to do, was to either make our films brighter, make our films darker, put some outstanding drawings on it, give a beginning, middle, and end sheet to our films. That was it. To get it to cut anything out was asking way too much. Most of the time it wouldn't cut nothing out. Other times when it would cut something out, it would fuck the film up, because then you couldn't bring back the two chunks together that you cut out. Like if you cut out a chunk, that's it. You had two films that could not be put back together. So at the end of the day, the film shifting tool, the Microsoft Windows film shifting tool, was a fucker. All it was a besmircher. It didn't do anything good. Then let's go to the YouTube one. Yes, let's do that. Alright, Sailor Ernest. Right, alright, so Sailor Moon. Alright, Serena. So that leads us to the YouTube shifter, which is even more broken and harder to work than the Microsoft one. There is nothing that tells you how anything works. You just throw your film in and hope for the great. And you can't even make your film brighter. You can't make it darker. There is no way to cut anything out of your films. There is no way to put outstanding drawings or anything in your films. So that one is way too hard to work, and I don't care how many offshoots of it the YouTube has made over the years, it's going to be too hard. It's going to besmirch our film, so we don't work with it. And there's going to be someone out there who's skilled every one of them, and good for you. But we are never going to be any of those folks. They're just too hard to work. You make a film, then if you somehow are lucky enough and you make a film and you have the Microsoft one besmirch it for you, and then why the fuck would you want the YouTube one to besmirch it even more? Because that's what you would be asking. Alright? And I know there's going to be some folks out there that skilled a Microsoft Windows Filmmaker, who skilled the YouTube film shifter, who skilled every film shifting tool there is. good for you. That's never going to be us. Our time of working with them has been besmirchment, you know, and at the end of the day, none of them have actually worked the way folks say it would work. They never made our films greater, made them look even worse than they were before, you know. So that's why we don't work with the Microsoft Filmmaker, the Microsoft Windows Filmmaker, or whatever you want to call it. We don't work with it. The outstanding drawings, making your film brighter and darker, putting a beginning, middle, and end sheet to your films. If that's the only thing it can do, then that is sad. And they're not even that outstanding either. Oh, you're right, Sailor Earth. At the end of the day, you want to go on Sailor Moon? Sure. Anyway, Sailor Earth, Ernest, you're right. They're not really that good. The Microsoft one is shit. And it's been shit for years. The YouTube one is even more shittier than the Microsoft one. The YouTube one doesn't even let you make your films brighter or darker. There really isn't any way to make a beginning, middle, and end sheet to your films. There isn't no way to make your films brighter or darker or cut anything out. There's nothing tells you how anything works. It's just there. So that's why we don't work with the YouTube one, because the YouTube one is just going to besmirch our films more too. And I know you're thinking that we're going to talk about the Apple's Macintosh iMovie or Sony Vegas or MakiCam or Cyberlink or ArcSoft, or you think we're going to talk about Last Cut. Well, they're all the same. They all have that same handicap going for themselves. But the ones that we worked with in the past, like the Cyberlink and the ArcSoft, they were broken. Too hard to work with. The YouTube one and the Microsoft one, too fucking hard to work with. All they did was besmirch our films, never did anything good of our films. Our films just looked even worse than they were before. So that's why we don't do anything with any film shifting tool. That's why we don't work with the Microsoft Microsoft Windows Filmmaker. That's why we don't work with the YouTube film shifter. You know? And if that's the why haters, and if that's the only scathing that our haters can come up with, oh well. It is what it is. Well, alright, Sailor Moon. Let's hope that this time this film uploads and fillets with no hang-ups. You know, because yesterday when this film was made, it did not fillet. It just got stuck at 95 and didn't go anywhere. So let's hope that whatever hang-up YouTube was having not going to happen again. You're right. Alright, hope you all like this film, and we'll see you later.